Welcome to Lincoln County Connects Online, your source for the latest news in our Lincoln County, Tennessee school system. I'm your host, Jason Parks, and I'm excited to be here with two very special people today. Our Principal of the Year, Jennifer Turpin from South Lincoln School, and our Supervisor of the Year, Brad Luna, the Supervisor of Technology for the Lincoln County School System. Congratulations, and thank you both so much for spending some time today. I know you're busy, and so we just appreciate you spending time with me and with our viewers today. And if it's okay, I'd love to ask you each a few questions just about your background and kind of how you came to this point of winning this honor in our school system this year. Jennifer, can I start with you?
Yes,
Is that okay?
I'd be glad to.
Well, how long has you served as principal of South Lincoln School?
This is my 5th year as principal.
Okay.
I came to South Lincoln in 2011 as assistant principal.
Okay.
And this is my 29th year in LC education.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? Did you grow up in Lincoln County or from here?
Yes, I did. I grew up out on Lynchburg Highway on a farm with my mom and dad, brother and sister. I enjoyed living on the farm, you know, not in a neighborhood, so a lot of time outside with the animals. You know, I had horses, cows, goats, you name it. Those were my friends and people I played with, so I really enjoyed it. And then as a child, my parents have a stock auction barn here in Fayetteville. So I grew up working in the office on sale day, and I credit that with a lot of my work ethic and being able to work with people, because I met so many different kinds of people there.
That's incredible. Now, tell me a little bit about your career. So we know about your background. Let me know about your career. What did you do before you became assistant principal and principal?
Okay, I started out teaching at Flintville Elementary.
Okay.
Dr. Lewis Bledsoe hired me in about 91, and I taught 5th grade there. And then I went on to serve as their pupil services coordinator, which I just coordinated services for children with that position. Then in 2004, I had the pleasure of working on a Reading First grant for the system. And the assistant principal at that time was Fran Johnson. She and I wrote the grant. We secured a $1.2 million Reading First grant for Flintville. And at that time, I became the literacy leader for the school. And from there, I came to the Title I office and served for about 4 years as academic coach for the county before I went to South Lincoln.
Okay.
So I've had a lot of different experiences.
A lot
in
of
the
background, a
county.
lot of experience. Now, here's a question that I'm sure everybody's wondering. How has COVID changed your job this year?
So many ways, but the biggest way, I guess, is the effect on the children and concern about their mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And the inconsistency for everybody. Are we in school? Are we out of school?
Yeah.
The quarantines, the exposures, those kind of things. That's been very difficult on the students. When you go into a classroom and there was a certain period of time, the students knew if I stepped in with a clipboard, somebody was going home.
Right.
So it was very hard to see the kids so disappointed and discouraged by being sent home, and then watching the teachers struggle with all the different modes of delivery of instruction. They've got their traditional students, then they've got their online students. Are they quarantined? You know, just so many different modes. And then, of course, all the additional cleaning procedures, not only on our janitorial staff, but the teachers are responsible for.
Yeah.
So they've had the largest load they've ever had to carry.
Yeah.
And I guess then another biggie would be just staffing, keeping we struggled to get subs to cover positions, so we were pulling people from everywhere, and that's starting to get a lot better. The last couple of weeks are beginning to feel a little more like normal school.
Good.
So I'm very happy about that.
That's incredible. Well, let's just pause for a moment and just say thank you to everyone, all of our staff, faculty, administration, for all you've done this year during COVID, because I can't imagine everything that everyone has had to deal with.
And they've done it with a smile.
That's incredible.
Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome.
Yes,
Listen, people in education, they're resilient, right?
Yes, sir.
You
Very
just
tough.
push through, and I know that as a parent, I appreciate that, and I know
Thank you.
parents watching appreciate it as well. Last question, what are some maybe of the highlights or a greatest accomplishment that you've had over your career?
I guess the thing I'm most proud of is being able to make a difference with kids every day, and then being there to see how that difference plays out.
Yeah.
Getting to watch them from pre-K through 8th grade and then watching them come on, that's my most fulfilling part. But some of the big things that I'm very proud of course, securing that Reading First grant, because we changed reading across Lincoln County with that. And there are some pieces from the intervention guides that we developed that are still in use today in schools in Tennessee. And then, of course, the 2018 school year, that was the year of the clean sweep for us at South Lincoln, and it went from junior pro championships, volleyball, football, boys and girls, basketball, and then the cherry on top, we received reward school status that year, and I've always dreamed of having a reward school, so that was very, very exciting.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, just getting to be a part of South Lincoln.
Yeah.
I'd always heard about the school. I'd been there some in my other capacities, but being there as an Eagle with everyone is just wonderful. And the culture that Mr. Holder had established, then Dr. Fanning continued, and then for me to be able to come into such a good situation has been a real blessing.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for all you do.
We I really love my job.
It. That's incredible. That's awesome. Now, Brad, we were joking before the video that this is the year of the technology team and the technology staff. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about your background, what you did before you were in the position you are today?
Sure. So before I was in this position, I actually graduated Lincoln County High School and attended Jeff Drake State Technical College and earned a certificate in machine tool technology. I was a machinist prior to starting this role, and was a CNC programmer. Not my favorite job in the world, and Dr. Tom Young invited me to come over and apply to be a computer technician with Fayetteville City Schools several years ago. And Billy Joe Evans scared me to death. He said, "We'll try you for 90 days and I'll fire you if you don't do a good job." But after that, we never really looked back. I hired in as a technician, and I believe it was somewhere around 2001 or 2002. Dr. Young stepped down and retired and become part-time, and I became the technology coordinator at Fayetteville City. And in 2011, I came over here to Lincoln County as their systems administrator and worked under Dr. Terry Sue Fanning, who was a great technology lead here for Lincoln County. Changed the direction, I think, for technology here in Lincoln County several years ago, and then she moved into a different role, and I took over as a technology coordinator, supervisor at that time, and I've been here since 2012 doing that. So
awesome. Well, you said you graduated from Lincoln County High School. Tell us a little more about your background growing up in Lincoln County.
So I'm a Vantown boy.
Okay.
Well, you don't get us confused with Flemble now. The Vantown folks, we're a little different, but I grew up in Vantown. So lived there all my life. My dad still lives in Vantown today. Attended Flemble School. Graduated Lincoln County High School in 1994. So
awesome.
And then, of course, like I said, went to Drake State Technical College. Pretty simple life. I mean, we were not a lot of exciting things in our lives back then. Just regular old country boy that loved technology. I had an uncle that worked for the Huntsville City Schools in their technology department, and he would just give me computers to play with when I was a kid. When they'd retire old stuff, and loved tinkering with technology and electronics and stuff when I was growing up, and just kept that more as a hobby, and it wound up leading to a career. So
now, I know this is a loaded question, but how has COVID changed your job this year?
Wow. So, you would think it would have changed our job a lot, but thanks to a lot of prior planning, it's really set us up to be ready for this year. I'm very proud of what our technology department had to pull off this year, but we're very fortunate where a lot of school systems did not have adequate devices for every kid. We had a device already in hand for every kid in grades 1 through 12. Now, we had a major shift of those devices stayed at school. They didn't go home in the K-8s. And there were several times we had no idea exactly how we were going to make that happen. The plan would change just about every day, sometimes multiple times a day, especially when it first hit. So it's just really managing that at-home piece. There's a lot more breakage. I've got a really good crew that comes around and tries to keep everything running. We try to replace our technology every 3 years. 1,800 of those devices should have been replaced this year. We ordered it in May. We actually just got those devices in this week.
Oh, excellent.
So we had to extend the life of these devices.
Yeah.
And batteries, everybody knows batteries wear out over time. So just trying to keep everything up and running and trying to get everybody prepared. Unfortunately, Lincoln County has a lot of rural areas that just don't have the internet coverage.
Yeah.
That's a real struggle. Trying to get kids to be able to work offline, it's just not ideal. And that's been one of the biggest challenges, trying to help parents figure out how to do that, get the parents to work offline. We actually installed wireless outside the building so that parents would be able to pull up if they needed to and get access to the internet on the Chromebooks when the students really needed it. Don't know how many parents are taking advantage of that.
They are, Brad. They are.
But you know, we wanted that out there in each community because you don't want to have to drive all the way into town to get something.
Right.
If we can have it at the community level. So
Right.
that's really been our biggest challenges. But we already had the devices. It's just a matter of execution and changing plans on the fly every day, just about there for a while.
Now, I think a lot of our viewers, when they think of technology, they may simply think of computers. But a technology department and a school system is so much more than that. So can you give our viewers an idea of maybe something that they wouldn't necessarily think of that y'all deal with on a daily basis?
Oh man, so it involves everything from the securing of the buildings. We manage the security entrances, how you badge in and get into the front doors. We have to manage all of our phone systems. When this pandemic hit, we still had to have IEP meetings for some of our special need kids, and all of a sudden we had to do that virtually.
Wow.
So all of a sudden we had to come up with conference bridges to be able to get everybody to call in and be able to do some of those services. You know, of course, the internet's a big, huge piece of it. Just trying to keep all the wireless up. We've got wireless in every classroom that we have to keep up and running. You know, and if it plugs into the wall, it becomes technology's problem at that point. So you can imagine anything that plugs into the wall, we have to be able to assist with. And it's just really, it's wide ranging. For our industry, what we do with technology, most of the time they have one person dedicated to just being able to do security on your firewalls or somebody to be able to go around and support desktops. With education, we don't have that luxury. We have to be a master of all trades, and that's really difficult for to run a small department. We have 5 people in our department. We're supporting around 6,000 devices plus, you know, miles of network cables, around 350 access points, keeping the schools all up, phone systems all up, security cameras, secure doors. It's a big job for a small department to keep up with.
Well, what would you say then over your career? What would be a highlight or maybe your greatest accomplishment since you've been here in this role?
I think it really comes back to executing the plans that have been in place, you know, started 10 years ago when we came in, I guess in 2012. We started our first one-to-one student devices at Lincoln County High School, started out with iPads, and we saw that need that students, to get equity, we really needed to get a device for every kid. And Dr. Fanning started that process, and ever since then, the school board has supported us. The administrations, Dr. Shelton and Dr. Heath, have both continued to support us. And when this hit, we actually had a device for every kid 1 through 12. I think that is, for a small rural school district in Tennessee, to be able to pull that off and be ready to go, I think that's probably one of our biggest accomplishments.
That's incredible. Well, thank you both again for
Thank
your
you,
time. And
Jason.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We're so
Appreciate
thankful
that.
for you. And thank you again for watching Lincoln County Connects Online. We cannot wait to see you again soon.